What's the worst thing you've ever found out about your best friend? When my best friend called me at 6 a.m., crying tears of joy because she was finally pregnant, I never would have imagined what was really going on behind closed doors. Sarah and her husband had always dreamed of being parents, and this was their 4th pregnancy. The last 3 had all ended in miscarriages around 10 weeks, and Sarah told me she was sure this one would be different. I was thrilled for her and suggested we meet for lunch to celebrate, but that's when she got a little uncomfortable. She told me that her husband, Michael, said it was better for her to stay home and take it all in today instead of going out. I understood, and she told me we'd catch up soon. But then things immediately turned weird. In fact, when I brought over a pregnancy care package later that day, Michael answered the door and took the gift, saying Sarah was resting. Over the next few weeks, her responses got shorter and less frequent. I'd try to visit, but Michael would intercept me at the door saying Sarah was too nauseous for visitors. I'm a nurse practitioner, so my medical instincts started going off. When I finally got Sarah alone at a coffee shop, I noticed she looked pale and anxious instead of having that pregnancy glow. She mentioned strange symptoms that made me raise my red flags. When I asked about her prenatal care, she got defensive and said Michael researches everything thoroughly. I suggested she get a second opinion, but she quickly changed the subject and said Michael knows what he's doing. Things escalated when I showed up at their house unannounced to drop off another care package, and Michael said Sarah was at a doctor appointment. I told him that was no problem and that I'd drive down to meet her there, but he instantly claimed it was very private and emotional. He even said so in an angry tone. Still, I went home. But when I texted Sarah about it, I got a response saying, "It's fine." A few days later came the real wake-up call. Sarah called me crying about scary blood work results, but the call cut out mid-conversation. When I called back repeatedly, Michael answered her phone saying she needed rest, not stress. I drove to their house but found all the curtains closed and no one answering. I soon tried enlisting Sarah's sister for an intervention about Michael's behavior, and although Sarah initially agreed to meet, she canceled last minute saying Michael surprised her with a spa day. When I confronted her directly at that very moment about the isolation, she got defensive saying I didn't understand marriage. That's when, yet again 10 weeks in, Sarah called me sobbing about another miscarriage. But again, the call interrupted halfway. I rushed over to see her, but Michael blocked me and threatened to call the police for harassment. That's when I started researching reproductive abuse because my gut feelings were intensifying. Turns out I didn't have to do that, because 2 weeks later, Sarah surprised me with a call about a party they were having. It was to celebrate the life of their unborn child. She said it would mean the world if I could attend and help her through this hard time. She also told me to bring my popcorn. I didn't fully know what she meant, but given that was a phrase she used to use in college when she was about to do something badass, I had a feeling I was about to see some drama going on. And I was right, because when I arrived at the party, I noticed Sarah instantly seemed different. She was more alert and determined than I'd seen her since the moment she got pregnant. She caught my eye across the yard and something unspoken passed between us. She gave me a smile and mouthed at me to get ready. Then came her announcement. She clinked her glass after dinner and said she had something special to show everyone. She then went into the kitchen and brought out an empty bottle of mifepristone. My face instantly dropped, and so did Michael's. For years, I thought my husband cared for me and for our baby. Michael stood up to interrupt, but Sarah's brother physically grabbed his arm and dragged him down. It seems he was made aware. Turns out he wanted to cull our baby instead. Gasps echoed. He's been giving this to me in secret every time I was pregnant. He'd slip it in my smoothies, my meals, and for those who don't know, this is abortion medication. Michael lost it. That's not true. Sit down, Sarah's brother interrupted, but Michael wasn't ready to back down. He started trying to break free to flee, but he couldn't. Sarah's dad was standing by the door, and he socked Michael so hard I swear I've heard quieter gunshots. The police were called, and after the accusations were made, he was hauled away. And when they asked about Michael's black eye, Sarah's dad told the officer Michael simply tripped and fell. Michael got 15 years for reproductive abuse and attempted murder. He's still in prison today, and Sarah and her new husband Killian are parents to a beautiful 1-year-old girl.